Hi guys, John with you again, and it's time now to get started on the Italeri Sherman. Okay, it's the what is it? The M4A1. Oh, I had to look behind me. The M4A1 Sherman. Okay, but before I actually start on the build itself, there's a couple of little issues I want to address first. First of all, basically, is this here. Okay. It's the basically the whole top of the tank, and it is extremely smooth. Okay, very smooth and shiny, and it shouldn't be smooth and shiny. It should have a bit of texture, bit of texture to it. Same here on the transmission cover, and also on the turret. Okay. I haven't taken off the top of the turret yet, but you can see it as well on the top of the turret. It's just too smooth and too shiny. So we want to get some. We want to put some texture on that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the turret off the sprue. The other two pieces are already off the sprue, as you can see, and I'm going to use some of this. As soon as I find it, I suppose I'm going to use some of this. Where did I put it? It's typical out of me, isn't it? Okay, it's probably behind there. Nope. You know what I'm looking for, don't you? I'm looking for bugger. Can't even remember what it's called now. Brain. It just sieve. Mine's through a sieve. Okay, there we are. Found it. I knew it was just up there. I knew it was just beside me. It's this thing. It's Mr. Surfacer. Okay. And that's the one I use. It's Mr. Surfacer 500. What you do is you pick a small bit at a time, paint a bit on, and give it a dab, and as it dries, it kind of creates a bit of a roughish texture to it, and that roughish texture then looks extremely like rolled cast, basically, you know, because it's a cast turret. You want to leave kind of a cast texture to it. Okay, so I'm going to, before I even start on anything else, I'm going to do the top of the turret and the top of the tank and the transmission cover, okay, with this stuff, and give it a nice coating. So I get that done first, then we come back, we'll have a look at that, and then we'll start with the actual build then itself, the main build, getting into the instructions and step by step. So these are a couple of things that I want to get done first, so I'll do them, and then we can start. Simple as that. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever used Mr. Surfacer, so this little bit that I'm adding in here it's not really for the people that have used it and know all about it and use it for ages. I've only started using it recently, but I find it fabulous. I really do. So I'm just going to sort of zoom down onto what I'm doing, and I'm going to show you how to use Mr. Surfacer, and also you get to see how good this stuff actually is. It's a handy little tool in the box, and you know me, I'm not one for going off buying products, but this is definitely one that that's how would you say, I wouldn't say essential, but very good and up there at the top of the list for you know, good tools and bits and pieces and products. So I'm just going to turn the camera around, get down to what I'm doing, and we can see it. Okay. So there we go. Destroyed myself. Okay. As you see, I've done a little bit on that. I've done the turret. Okay, now this stuff dries very fast. Okay, that's nearly dry as it is already. Now, as you can see, okay, see the little bubbles and things, you know, that creates a nice texture. Now, once it's fully dry, if you go over it with a soft enough sander, you can get rid of areas that have just that little bit too much on it. Okay. And by giving it a light sanding, now make sure it's not a rough sanding stick. And there you go. There's your cast texture. Okay. And it works. It really does. So, how it's used. Put a tiny bit on your brush. Make sure it's an old brush that you don't really want to use again. Okay. So, pick a small area. Okay, paint it on and then dab like that. Okay, and just dab it on. Now you see the effect there already. Alright, probably just a little bit too much light. Let's change the light around. Okay, now as you see, we're already starting to create a bit of texture there. Okay, so anywhere you want that rolled steel or cast texture, this will do for that. Okay. Now, this stuff as well, it can be used for, do you know, on modern tanks and vehicles, you've got that anti-skid kind of, or anti-slip coating that they put on it. Okay, so you can walk along it and stuff. It's also very good for that. But when you want to go with that, because you want it that little bit thicker, once you get your first layer on, just do another coat of it and another layer of it, and it's literally just stipple it on. Okay. And that's all you got to do. Okay. Now it takes a bit of, a little bit of work. Make sure it's kind of reasonably ventilated because it stinks to high heaven, and just basically go over your any areas that you want the that texture on, and it's very good. That's Mr. Surfacer 500, and I would recommend you get some for your stash, for your little paint box. Okay, because it's a brilliant product. And I don't normally endorse products, as you know. Okay, so I'll continue on with this. I'll get the rest of it done, and we'll come back then. We'll have a look at what the whole lot looks like when it's dry, giving it a rub of a sander and everything else, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so now you can see I'm after getting the Mr. Surfacer 500, and I'm after getting the surface done now on the sides there. Okay, that was kind of hard to see because there we go, there's a perfect view of it, and as you can see, it's got surface now. It's not just that nice pure smooth effect like that you've got there. Okay, we've got nice rolled steel and cast iron and all that, cast steel, should I say, or cast metal, whatever the feck it is, cast anyway, because it was a cast body on those, and the turret as well. We've got some cast detail there on that as well. Okay, and as well on the transmission cover. So now we can actually start with the build. Okay, so I've got the instructions here, and straight away, if you look at the instructions there, you can see that we're on to the bogies. So we've got to make up the bogies. So it's 6 bogies, 3 either side. There's a left and a right bogies. Okay, so we've got to make them up. Now, I'll get them made. We'll come back then, and as usual, we'll have a quick look at them. and discuss if I had any problems with them. Any major problems with them, what I'm going to do is literally show you on video where the actual problem is, as if I come across one, you know. Hoping not to. I'm after looking at a couple of different people's videos on this kit, but not this actual particular kit, on the later one. Now, did they refine the molds? Did they fix anything? It doesn't look so. When I went through and I was watching other people's videos on it, literally everything is the exact same on the kit that's produced now in this kit. Okay, the plastic might have changed, as in, you know, the quality of the plastic mightn't be that cheapy. I don't know. Don't want to call it cheapy plastic. It's just, it's a different quality plastic than the Tamiya plastic, or styrene, should I say. So anyway, I'm going to get the bogies made. We'll come back and we'll have a look at those. Okay, so here's the 6 bogies. I have them workable that way, but I did glue the wheels. I prefer if the wheels don't turn, especially when it's not a movable, you know, object. It's not going to be a toy. And with the wheels, if they're spinning away, I just find it harder to paint them like that. So I decided to glue the wheels in place, but the bogies still have their articulation, like that word, articulation that way. Okay, so we've got the 6 bogies made. I'll move them aside. Now what do we do? Okay, so there's the 6 bogies. I started to mark them off with the my green highlighter, but all I could find was my old highlighter, which, as you can see, is not working, so I need to get a new highlighter. Yay! So anyway, step 2, we're onto the tub. We're fixing the drive sprocket, little mounting holder thingy-jig for that. We've got 2 bits of fender at the back there. We've got the rear plate. We've got the axles for the idler wheel, and we're fitting the bogies on. Okay, so I'll get that done. Right, I will get that done, and we'll come back and we'll have a look at that. Okay, so back in 2. Okay, we're after getting that done now. Right, there's the bogies all nicely on and everything else. Okay, I'm after putting the drive sprockets on. Okay, both sides. So they turn. Right, I'll need them for turning, for putting on the track. I've left, there's a little cap to go onto the idler, okay, but I've left that off. Really, the only reason I left it off is because I wanted to be able to take it off the idler to put on the tracks, because if the tracks are too tight, it's easier to sort of, you know, get the idler wheel on after it than try to stretch it out over the whole lot and, you know, fit them that way. So I've decided to, there's a little cap to go in there, as we can see in the instructions. I got the instructions, we can see that. Okay, this piece here, piece number 22, and as you see, I've marked it in orange to show that I do it later. As you can see, I'm after finding my my highlighter, so you can call back the search parties. Everything's done. Found it. It was on the floor beside me. Yep, the carpet monster was trying to get his greedy claws. Okay, so now we're on to step 3. Step 3. What have we got in step 3? Okay, we are. I get something to point with. We've got these little bits and pieces here, and we've got the exhausts to do. Okay, now what they are, I haven't the faintest idea. Judging by the look of the shape of them and all that, I'd say they're air intakes and air filters. But like I said, I don't know. We've also got the tow hitch to go on, okay, and a little handle, and we've got these little pieces here. Now, judging by the picture, they go in and up there somewhere, so hopefully there's a mark there for them to go into. We'll see. Okay. Right, we're also fitting the hull machine gun, or the belly gun as some people have called it. I have heard of it referred to as that. We've got the rear mud guards, but I won't be putting on the rear mud guards purely because I won't be putting on the side skirts. Alright. Although, will I need to put on the mud guards? I'll have to have a look at them and see. I will have to have a look at them and see that are the mud guards going to have to go on or not. I can sort of do a dry placement of them and fit them onto the yoke, and we'll see how all that goes. And we're working then on the hull machine gun again here with the front of it. Okay. So I'll get them done. Decide about these pieces here. Find out if they go in or not, and we'll come back to you when all that's done. Okay. So join me in 2. Okay, so as you can see there, they're all marked off, and I'm after getting that much done. I'm after getting all those little bits done. I'm after leaving off the side skirts. Okay. Somebody even told me that the side skirts were only used on the British versions, that the American versions didn't have the side skirts on. So, you know, I'm not using them anyway, so I'm happy enough with that. I'm still doing an American version, but I'm not using the side skirts. I also attached the 2 sides together, and I'm after putting the tracks together as well. That was easy enough because they're rubber band tracks, and it's just a case of melt. You see there, just melted them together. They kept sort of being in that position, quite stiff. So what I've done is, believe it or not, I'm after pushing the 2 together, right, keeping the join piece to the top, right, keeping them together like that. And I use this, which is the base of the turret. Okay, I just stuck them in there like that and left them there overnight. And you know, it just helps to kind of get them a bit more on the oval side rather than a perfect O shape, which we don't want, because it'll cause them to lift and things. So here's our tracks, and here's our main hull, shall we say. We've got the wheels are on. There we go. I'll just change the light there. Okay, we have our wheels on, our bogies. The return rollers at the back, our idler wheels are there. Like I said, I'm not going to fit in them until I'm actually fitting the tracks. The front is done. We've got the little hull machine gun in place. Top went onto the bottom really well. I must admit, it was a very fabulous fit there and that. Okay. Really neat. And it just slotted up and over that. Now I did give it a little, after gluing it, I did give it a little bit of a sanding, just to kind of even it off a bit. So far so good. Happy with all that. No problems with fit. No problems with finish so far either. Nothing major regarding flash. Seam lines, okay, got the seam lines on the wheels, but they were easy to remove. So I had no problems so far. Okay, which, as far as I'm concerned, for an Italeri kit, that's quite good. I've had so many problems with Italeri kits in the past, and I did the Italeri Sherman Easy 8 the excuse me, the Fury version, and I had loads of little problems with that, especially when it came to fitting the tracks. The return rollers along the top, they were fitted too high. You had problems getting the track in. I had to kind of break them off and reposition them, and apparently a couple of other people had that problem as well. So anyway, we'll continue on with this. What have we got next? Alright, we've all the little bits and pieces now to go onto the body of the tank itself. Alright, we've got our tools, we've got some handles, some lifting eyes, we have the travel lock for the gun, we've got the drivers and the co-drivers hatch covers. Okay, what else have we got here? We got the tow rope. Still haven't decided whether I'm going to make a tow rope or use the one that's provided. I'm going to have a closer look at the one provided and see what the moulding is like on that. If it's bad, I'm not going to use it. If it's okay, I will use it. Simple as that. So I'll get that much done. Right, we've got some more little pieces here. We've got our lights and our light guards, so I'll get them fitted as well. So I'll get all that bit done there. Okay, which is step 5, pieces number 42 to 60. I'll get them done. We'll come back then, have a quick look at that, and see how that went, basically. Okay, so I'm after getting more of those little bits on. Alright, we're after getting all the tools on at the back here. We got some of these little cover yokes, whatever they're for, I don't know. I think they're sort of ventilation kind of covers, so you can't get anything in, but they can kind of ventilate out of them. I'm not too sure. We got the hatch covers on. We've got the travel lock, the lights and the light guards, and we got the big lifting hooks as well. We also got some handles on as well. We got some handles on the hatch covers, guards there on the vision blocks, and we got handles here on the back of that as well. So just have to get me red pen and mark off the last few bits and pieces I just did, which are the light guards. Okay, so there we go. As we can see, I'm after getting all those done and all marked off. So now we move on to step 6, right? Step 6, we're putting on a few more of the Pioneer tools. We have to make up this little, I don't know what you call it, a shelf, I suppose, the only thing you can call it. We also have these supports here that go on the corners. I don't know what they're for, but I think they're for tying down. Oh no, they're light guards. Yep, light guards, rear light guards. But they're also used. They use them for tying down stowage onto it as well. We've got some track blocks, I think. Okay, that's how you make them up. They go on here at the sides, right? So it shows them fitting. It's weird that they showed sort of how they go together after they go on, but you know. Right, and we've got the start and cranking handle. Okay, so I'm going to get that done, and then we're on to the turret. Okay, so I'll get that bit done first. We finish off on the main body of the tank. That should nearly finish off all that. As far as I know, that's the last of the body tank bits to go on. Yep, and then we're on to the turret. So get them done, come back, usual, have a quick look at it. So far I've had no problems, so you know, all good, fingers crossed. Let's hope we have no problems for the rest of the build. Okay, so excuse me, there I'm after getting all the last few bits and pieces onto the body of the tank. Okay, so we've got our light guards on, we've got some more tools and things on the back of the vehicle. Now we've got the sort of parcel shelf. We've got a storage shelf, and we've got the spare track pads on as well, and we've got our light guards on again at the back. So that's the body finished, right, and all marked off. Okay, so what's next? Next we're putting the gun on. Okay, we're putting the gun together as two pieces. We've got the putting them on then to the mantlet, sticking on the little cage that goes around the gun breech, and the last few little bits and pieces to go on. We've got the little hatch there that they chuck the rounds, the spent rounds and out of, and they take in the new rounds. Got that little hatch there with the commander's hatch, the loader's hatch, the aerial, the 50 cal, and then some stowage in the back, which I'll be leaving off for a while. I'll be putting on stowage right at the very, very end after it's been painted and everything else, and then I can sort of add on stowage. We'll see what kind of stowage I'm going to add to it. I'm going to put on a little bit more than what they actually give, just to build it up a bit, just to, you know, use up some of the storage that I have around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish off the construction, and then we'll have a look at it. It's pointless how to stop doing the gun breech. We'll have a look at that, and, you know, things like that. There isn't very much to go on, so I'll get them done, and then we'll come back. We'll have a quick look at it, and we'll see how it all goes. Okay, so next time you see it now, it'll have its turret piece on. Okay. Okay, construction is now complete. I'm after making an aerial for it. I searched through my box and I had no more guitar strings, but I had some light wire, so I got 3 strands of light wire and spun them around. You know, the same you do for cables, making cables and things like that. I was going to make a cable with it, but unfortunately it was too thin for the cable that I wanted. You know, for the tow cable that was to go on here, it was too thin for that. The kit cable that came with it was freaking horrible altogether. These eyes and things, I used one of them. I cut it off and I tried to sort of fit it onto one of these, but it was they were too thin, the cable that I used for that. The whole thing, it just didn't really work out well. I wasn't really happy with it, so I decided to not go with a tow cable. So this is a tank without a tow cable. Okay, got lost in transit, fell off, used it got used for something else, and it broke and got lost and damaged, missing in action. Okay, so that's what I used for the aerial then, because it was stiff enough to use for an aerial, but it's still flexible enough to use for an aerial, should I say. We got the rest of the little handles on there. The gun works, it goes up and down. Well, when I say it works, I think it goes up and down, it doesn't shooty things. It was a two-piece barrel, but it went together quite neat. Sometimes when you put the two-piece barrels together, they're kind of slightly off, if you know what I mean. So you end up with that big gap, or that kind of little step, should I say. But that went together very, very neat. Only a small bit of sanding, and it became quite perfect. The 50 cal, lacking a little bit of detail, but overall it's grand. You know, everything is there for it. It's just it could be a little bit more detailed, shall we say? But considering the age of the kit, that's actually quite good. Overall, I had no fit issues with it whatsoever. It just went together really, really nicely. The two sides went together perfectly. I added another little bit then of the the Mr. Surfacer 500 on the top here, just to get a bit of kind of a surface detail and metal detail on the hatch covers and things, because they were just a little bit too smooth and I didn't like them, to be quite honest with you. But everything else is grand with it. I can't see any problems with it whatsoever. So that's the construction finished. Next step, and the next video will cover the painting and the weathering of it. Okay, so like I said, I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it, I must say. It's a kit I definitely would recommend, which is rare for me with when it comes to Italeri anyway. It's definitely rare for me. I don't normally like Italeri kits. I find them very I find the fit in general not great at all. I've had a couple that they were just quite horrible, really. You know, not mincing words or anything, but they were literally bloody bad. But this one was absolutely fabulous. When it comes to fitting, you know, I had no problems with it whatsoever at all. The only thing I can see that would be a kind of a drawback is the rubber tracks are a bit too stiff. Okay, the plastic that they're made of is just too stiff. Yeah, okay, you can soften it a bit, but that really, you know, by putting it into warm water, that will soften them to get them into a shape. But once they cool down again, they're back into being the hard plastic that they are. With these wheels, the fact that it doesn't really sit properly into place and things like that. What I'm actually thinking of doing with them is gluing them level. Okay, you know, get them like that, get them where they're all level, and gluing them in place. Okay, gluing them level, and then hopefully the track, when it goes on for a finish. Now the track isn't fitting into the drive sprocket here, it's just slightly off, but that's just, there we go. That was just me and how I fitted it, you know. Okay, there she is now. It has nothing to do with the fit or anything like that. But you know, I'd like them to go like that. You know, and I can put that into place once I have those level. So you got to push it down to get those level, and it doesn't, being plastic, it doesn't have any weight in it. But you can see the wheel moving there now, like that. It's only slightly, it's only the slightest little bit. But if I glue them straight and then glue the track to the wheels for a finish, it should be okay. There's a bit of super glue in there when I get the tracks in. Okay, so that's the only thing I could really fault the kit on, and shall we say that's when it comes to an old kit, that's very, very minor, and it's fixable. It really is. It's fixable. So there she is. That's the build video. Hopefully you like it, and like I said, I definitely go off and recommend it. So stay tuned to the channel, and we'll get it painted and weathered in the next video. So in the meantime, enjoy your modelling, stay safe, be nice to one another, and go out and buy yourself a kit. Build it and enjoy it. This is John signing off, and I'll catch you on the next one, lads. Stay safe.